So the hit on Duncan Keith got the Blackhawks going tonight, but it's that anthem that gets everybody going.
Always.
It's an unforgettable experience before every Blackhawks home game. As Frank Pellico strikes the first key on the organ, the fans erupt even before the first word is sung.
Now, that tradition started at the old Chicago Stadium, was brought across the street to the United Center. It's something the fans love, and so do the players on the ice. So take off your hats and please rise, ladies and gentlemen. It's time for our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see? I wasn't really prepared for the fans. I was told that they would cheer, but knowing it and experiencing it were two very different things. So they started yelling. I kind of got a little excited, and I kind of felt myself like smiling and thinking, "Wow, this is pretty cool." Never done this before with people screaming while I'm singing, you know.
It just sends chills down my spine every time. It's actually gets me going. Like it's you know, some people even find it a little emotional just to how, you know, patriotic it sounds, and for us to, it just shows, you know, how great Chicago fans are.
Those broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight.
I'll never forget, I mean, standing on the ice out there, and the anthem gets going, the crowd gets going, and the ice actually started rocking.
Good thing this building was constructed in a very solid manner, otherwise the roof would have blown off.
I used to stand there at center ice, and soot used to come from the ceiling because it shook, the building shook. And the building was so old, they had, you know, junk from the rafters fall down onto the ice.
Well, it certainly electrified the stadium, the old stadium, which I coached in, and our fans embraced the beginning of each game. There was no question about it. It brought energy to the building and brought energy to our team.
And then you got halfway through and there was just a crescendo like you can't imagine. I know I don't have much hair on my head, but whatever hair I had on my arms, anywhere in your body, you just have this goosebump feeling.
I've been watching and listening to Wayne Messmer wind him up in Chicago Stadium for 10 years. You still get a little goose flesh.
It was so unique in that it was overwhelming as a visiting team player because, you know, it was, if you hadn't experienced something like that, you were never going to see something like that in your lifetime.
We had a big advantage in this building because people that walked up the stairs on the opposite end were pretty much in their pants.
The structure of that building, too, with the Chicago Stadium, noise would go straight up and come straight down. And it was, I know a lot of visiting teams were a little shaken up by it.
Listen, teams went into the Chicago Stadium and says, we have got to survive 10 minutes. There's a storm coming our way, and we knew it too. And if we weren't ready to play, but the storm could come the other way.
We thought it was one of the greatest. I fired our team up as much as their team, and, you know, if anything, it inspired us as much as them. And obviously, you want that hometown flavor and that hometown sort of pick me up, but it really didn't faze our team. If anything, it helped our team as much as their team. We truly enjoyed it, and we had so much respect for the fans in Chicago that I think it rallied our troops as much as theirs.
I think in the old stadium it started way earlier than before the anthem, especially on Sunday afternoons when everybody was coming from the Bears game and into the Blackhawks game. By the time they got to the anthem, everything was full roar. Right?
You hear the expression getting choked up. I mean, that's literally what happened, is you feel yourself start to like choke up, and then it's like, oh my God, I got to get under control here. If I don't, I'm not going to be able to finish this song. So you have this strange like struggle going on inside you all the time, because you get really excited, but then you have to also kind of calm yourself down to finish. Different styles. People like to do different things with it. I guess I play around with it just a little bit, but for the most part I like to maintain the integrity, and it's like a friend of mine say, just loud and proud, baby, loud and proud.
Wow, that was awesome. You know, it may not be as loud as the stadium, but it's damn near close. And I bumped into Jim Cornelison at the United Center on Sunday night. I said to him, the Wrigley Field experience for the Winter Classic is by far the best anthem I have ever witnessed, and I assume I will ever see. And he said he was shaking in his boots as he did that one because he realized the whole world was watching.
Well, I'll tell you, Pat, I was lucky enough to cover the Blackhawks in the early 90s when they had those great teams under Mike Keenan. We really missed Jeremy Roenick, one of the best interviews of all time. But I'll tell you what, when you were in the stands for a playoff game, that building literally shook, and you knew something special was about to happen. So hopefully we can experience that once again with the Blackhawks moving on to the playoffs this year.
And the beauty is it rolls from there. It just doesn't end at the anthem. The guys on the ice have been continuing with that great fan support. Coming up after the break, we'll go to Assembly Hall and find out how the Illini did against Michigan.